Cold Nano, High Decayed, hope you and Gia are all right. I know that we hit 25 months. I think we should make and release our quarter century rarity baby. I will see you at Motel 8, Winky Smiley. Okay, what? YouTube, welcome to the top 16 every single week. By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports these videos. We are starting off with the new pack release, Tenpai Dragon versus Infernoid. Of course, we know why Tenpai Dragon's in the top 16, but Infernoid, I don't know how he got here, but I'm excited to see it. Justinian, 60-card deck, Mad Lad. We have Thrust. I was just talking outside of maybe this recording where the Thrust could set a dimensional barrier from the deck if they max CU, which we may be seeing. Are you ready? Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Discard and transaction rollback, which could copy the effect of a trap from your graveyard, as we have our Diablo Star setting up into the back row, our original Sinful. We will be maxing right here, right now, before the Gamma would be activatable, even though there's no Gamma. Send the Diablo Star, summon from the deck, the Decatron. Decatron can now send from the deck Divide to then copy its effect. We're now going to Thrust, set a Black Goat Laughs. Now, how can this be good against Tenpai? Declare a monster card name. This turn, neither player could special summon monsters with that original name. Do we declare Bident Dragon? Maybe declaring Bident Dragon would be the best play here, as they are not going to be able to summon that, which is a good way to then go into their bigger cards like their Transcendent Dragon. So I'm excited to see that. Let's go. Now, the Decatron still has the copied effect. What's the effect? When another monster effect is activated, you could tribute a monster to then negate the activation and banish. We are declaring with the Black Goat Laughs right here. Right now, we're calling Chandra. Chandra cannot be special summoned from the hand now. Let's go. Now, here's something you may be wondering. Should you chain the Black Goat Laughs to the Chandra activating the hand, or does it summon like a Diablo Star where it's too late? It summons inherently and then you can't Black Goat Laughs. This, in fact, has a colon. I'm really good at finding them. So if you control a Fire Dragon, colon, you could special summon this card from your hand. So it activates, it reveals, and then you declare Chandra, and then it doesn't summon. There we go. Genroku is here. Add the Genroku. Genroku, and being added, will trigger to special summon. Transaction rollback, copying the Black Goat Laughs again. Genroku cannot be special summoned. Chandra cannot be special summoned. Ain't no way. Is that enough to completely shut down a Tenpai Dragon's turn 2? Let's see. We can normal summon Chandra. We could trigger Chandra at the start of the damage step. Now, it's important to note is, you see this 1? This signifies the start of the damage step. What that means is, if you have an Ash Blossom cannot be used on the Chandra summoning from the deck. And that also means we can't Ash Blossom the Pydra because it was summoned at the start of the damage step. Again, no Ash, can't Ash. Now, what about Fadra? Fadra at the start of the damage step, reborning from the graveyard. You can Ghost Spell. I'm not saying it's a good card to play, but Ghost Spell negates the activation, Ash negates the effect. Otherwise, that's why it cannot be used in the damage step. I'm gonna grab the Kaiman here, take out the Decatron, which was negated by the Impermanence. Wow, that was enough to clap us. We super Black Goat laughed, and it wasn't enough. We called 2 freaking cards, and we still lost to Tenpai. Let's go into game 2. Are you ready? We, in fact, chose for Tenpai to go first. With Tenpai going first, they're going to be backed up with a Maxi and an Ash Blossom plus the Hieratic Seal. Unless Lemon is playing a version of the deck that makes a crazy turn 1 play. No, we're just making Hieratic Heavenly Sphere, sure. So Maxi, Ash, and Hieratic Seal to spin back a face-up card in the field. We're going to 1-for-1, discard to summon for the deck into Max freaking C. Now, this is a situation because we know that they're going to beat us next turn. So we do, in fact, have to take the Maxi challenge. Right now, the Decatron can negate a monster effect. But the problem with the Hieratic Seal, it's 2 effects. So if you negate it from summoning, I should say negate it from returning you back, it still activates to summon from the deck a Tenpai monster. We're going to chain the Thrust. Well, now the Thrust, which we were wanting to add a grass-looking greener to our freaking hand, is now going to go into the back row because now there's no monster on the field. So we got completely outplayed by the Hieratic Seal no longer being on the field. Decatron's not going to even change. It's going to go back to the hand. Now we're thrusting into the back row our Void Feast as we now trigger the Hieratic Seal, summon with the deck, the Fadra on summon, reborn the Pydra. And at the moment, this field cannot be destroyed by battle and takes no battle damage. That's it. So even if you were to put it into attack or have piercing battle damage, but that's okay. We have the Harmadic to pop the Pydra. The Pydra wasn't really the problem. The Fadra was. The Fadra is protecting you from being destroyed by battle. So we still have that wall. We are not going to be destroyed by battle. We have to figure out a way to deal with it. We're going to reborn the Decatron, send from the deck. We have a monster negate. It's now gone as we now go into the Hida. Hida is going to be reborning a fire monster from the graveyard, stealing your Bident Dragon as we then Shokan into Promethean Princess. Promethean is going to be reborning from the graveyard as we Decatron again, send from the deck to have an effect. I forget what effect that even is. It doesn't matter. As we now make an Infernoid Flood. The Flood is here. We're banishing the summon. This one now. What does this one do? Quick effect. You can tribute a monster to target a card in the opponent's graveyard to then banish it. Sure. We're going to trigger the Flood. The Flood's going to non-target banish the Fadra off the field. Thus, we need the Veiler to negate that effect. Negate the banish, Fadra will remain. Cannot be destroyed by battle. And it already used its cards once a turn, reborn from the graveyard. Yep, that happened. I guess we popped the wrong one. Did we not know that the Pydra protects you from battle damage? This protects you from battle destruction. We popped the Pydra instead of the Fadra. So yeah, damn. Even if we were able to destroy it by battle, we didn't have lethal, right? So, you know, freaking Tenpai plus Max C. That is something. Justinian, I appreciate it immensely. I'm very happy you brought Infernoid. Please bring it again next week. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Begin. Dimension Shifter right away in the draw phase, which we're going to be hit with the Gamma. I think we're in a Gamma meta. Yes? It's time to play Gamma. If the top deck is playing Dimension Shifter and their best play is to use Dimension Shifter in the draw phase, you got to hit them with that Gamma. Now, Ash will negate the Gamma, but Gamma will be activatable again within the same turn, but not within the same chain unless you have another copy of Gamma. So let's see what we do here. We do have Crossout Designate, negate the Ash Blossom Mate, chain the Maxi. Do we also finger the Maxi? Yes, we do. All those hand traps, and we still have a Lightning freaking Storm. The problem is, where are our combo starters? Where's our Dora, Tundra, Pydra, Kaiman, Sengen Summoning? We have so many one-card starters in our deck, but nowhere to be seen at the moment. And it looks like Lightning Storm is not going to be good enough if they could pull off the full one-card combo, which it looks like they're dealing with the Nightmare Throne. This is really good. Now, notice how we have a D-Lotus in the field. D-Lotus is a new part of the end field for Yubel. You want it on the field. With the Sengen Summoning that makes you unaffected from activated effects, the D-Lotus will be able to still negate the monster because it's changing the effect. So we have change effect, two change effects under the field spell, and the escape, which will also pop the field spell. We have pretty much the three ways to out the field spell before we even have it, but of course Tenpai's got nothing. So I would count up all the disruptions we have, but does it even matter? There's nothing to disrupt. Lightning Storm activating to wipe out all attack position monsters. It's back, okay? What's back? Lightning Storm's back. At the release of Master Duel, everyone was summoning their monsters in defense, and coming from Duel Links, I kept on wondering, why? What are you all doing? Attack position's where it's at. Well, Lightning Storm's the card you want to play around. Now, Lightning Storm fell off the meta, and it was completely okay to summon everything in attack position, but now with Tenpai Dragon being the top dog, and a lot of them, probably not the majority of them, will be playing Lightning Storm, it's time to go back in D. Back in D. We're going to be triggering the Soul of Rage to return back the Phantom of Yubel into our extra deck. Nightmare Throne is going to be triggering. Come forth as we add back the Spirit to... Yeah, we have no play. We got nothing. All right, very well done. Let's hop into the next match. D-Shifter is back. Now, you are the one with no engine. We didn't even negate. No way, we have no play. That's it. We're just sitting on double Gamma and Imperm. All right, let's see what's good. We're now unaffected from Gamma, unaffected from Imperm. Now, the Gamma can negate the Tundra activating to summon from the hand. And otherwise, fire monsters you control are unaffected. So the Genroku activates to summon from the deck. Is it unaffected from the Gamma? It's affected. This is only, so controlled means it has to be on the field to be unaffected. Ritual Beast is in the tournament. And we are under D-Shifter. Chandra, before the start of the damage step, we are going to Imperm, negate the Chandra from summoning. Now, can Gamma activate at the start of the damage step where Ash Blossom cannot? It can, because it negates the activation. Imperm cannot, Ash cannot, so you have to Imperm early, or you have a card like Gamma to negate. So we're going to be adding, within the battle phase, another Chandra, to then summon that Chandra, to activate the start of the damage step, to then get negated by the Gamma, to then use Ash onto it, right? You can't, because we're at the start of the damage step. Our own Ash, which our anti-Ash card is activating, is getting stopped by the Gamma. Nicely done, and we're outside of the main phase, so the field spell is not protecting us. This Chandra on field is negated, so, okay, we were at the start of the damage step there when we activated. All right, now, the Chandra will activate if any monster goes to the start of the damage step to summon from the deck. We're gonna Dark Beckoning Beast, Ash Blossom, negate the search for the Spirit Gates. You know it's a good hand trip activation when they're willing to finger it. If they're fingering your Ash, then you know it's a good Ash. Negate. Now, generally, I would not say ashing a Dark Beckoning Beast is good, but if you know they passed turn one, they had no plays, and then they summon a Dark Beckoning Beast, that must be their only play. We're going to Spirit Gates, adding the Chaos Sonic Beast. How to attack directly, it was start of the damage step. We already committed to the start of the damage step, so there's no replay. All right, we're going to Yama, add a Shavara. We could then discard the Shavara, reborn from the graveyard, our Dark Beckoning Beast. Shavara, pop the Dark Beckoning Beast, come forth and summon. We're locked into Fiend monsters, as we then make a Soul of Anguish. We're going to Shavara, Call by the Grave, finger that Shavara. I don't think so. You're not setting up the escape, which is very much needed to take out the Sangan summoning from searching, and also giving your monsters that protection. We can't battle into Chandra, so we're just going to link off with it. How did we link off with it if it's unaffected? Well, the Sangan summoning is only during your main phase, not the opponent's main phase, just yours. As we make a Little Knight. Little Knight on summon, banishing the Sangan summoning off the field, end the turn. We have a finger for the Chandra in graveyard, top deck Fadra, which we're gonna finger the Chandra. Woo, we gotta do it before the damage step. There you go, that's correct. It activates in the damage step to reborn from the graveyard, where you would not be able to activate the Call by the Grave. So this is when we do it. Finger the Chandra preemptively. Gotta be very careful about the damage step. And just like that, the Fadra cannot be destroyed by battle, so it protects itself from the suicide attack as we reborn the Soul of Anguish. Soul of Anguish, again, link off with their monster. You have Spirit Gates, discard the Grave Squirmer, reborn the Dark Beckoning Beast, Grave Squirmer banished to reborn from the grave, the Chaos Summoning Beast, making a Sprite Elf. Elf's gonna activate, reborn the Little Knight from the graveyard. Soul of Anguish is gonna be making a Soul of Rage. And we have 4,800 damage, not enough for a game. This is in the top deck situation. So what is this field in terms of disruption? Only a special summon monster, the Soul of Rage, could link off with it. But what are we linking off with? Because we already went through Little Knight, we already went through the Soul of Anguish, so we could link off into a Yama if there's a Fiend monster in the field, which is not going to work. I guess a Muckraker, which is not really a good disruption. So we have link off into Little Knight Banish, that's all we really have. Oh, we're getting rid of it. We're going main phase 2, double monster negate Apollo USA. So we traded 2 disruptions for 2 disruption, but the Spirit, the Sprite Elf that is, can reborn. Now, you did not make this with a Masquerena. Masquerena would make you protected from the Raigeki off the top of the deck. Raigeki, wipe out the field. Elf, reborn the Dark Beckoning Beast. Now, obviously, it's better to reborn the Soul of Rage because when destroyed, it would add back from the grave, but we can't do that unless there's a monster on the field. So that is really unfortunate. Wipe it out. Now, with the Spirit Gates, do we have any good cards to reborn from the graveyard? No. There's no Spirit of Yubel. There's no D-Lotus. Nothing good to reborn. Dead triple tactics talent. We're in a top deck situation off the top of the deck. Dimension Shifter completely dead. No good, no bueno. Again, we have Ogre. Ogre for the field spell search. So again, if you're a Tenpai player, consider not searching with the field spell. We didn't have to summon an attack position, so not really sure what was there. Uh-oh, Sangin, Kaiman in the main phase are gonna be searching for the Chundra. Chundra is here. Can you Ogre? No, you can't Ogre in the damage step. Damage step Hydra. Now you can Ogre, right? Nope, we're still in the damage step. You can't Ogre, mate. No Ogre, no Ogre. Set the field spell within the battle phase. Let's go. Hydra attack. Now activate. Now you could Ogre this, but it's not good. If you Ogre the Chundra, activating to Synchro Summon, then the Hydra activates to instead be the one Synchro Summoning. So we're not gonna even do it. We're not doing it. Bident Dragon is here on summon, activate, reborn from the grave the Fadra. Could pop the Bident Dragon, but Bident Dragon could simply just reborn itself from the graveyard, which it's going to do. It's going to be back on the field, not even a problem. Fadra on summon, activate, reborn the Chundra. We're going to attack. Bident Dragon, reborn, attack for 26. We can then synchro into the Transcendent. You could synchro into the Trident Dragon in the battle phase with the set field spell. Pop the field spell. The field spell will trigger if destroyed, even while face down. Double the attack of the Trident Dragon. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's 1 in 1. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Genroku, tribute summon from the deck. A Hydra. Hydra is going to get Imperm negated. We can't finger the impermanence. Nothing engraved to finger, but we do, because we're not playing too many board breakers. Imagine our hand being what? More Dark Hole, Lightning Storm, Harpy Feather Duster. That would not be good. So alongside our Hermetic Seal or our Disrupted turn 1, we now have something. We got the Droplet, we got the Imperm, we got the Call by the Grave. Is that enough? Now Hydra on the field, what does it do? It ain't doing anything. That's nothing, it's trash. In fact, it does stop you from taking damage with Nightmare Pain. I know it seems like you're taking effect damage with this, but the effect is to reflect battle damage. So if you can't take battle damage, which Hydra says that, you take no battle damage from Nightmare Pain. Just remember that. Let's see. There are triple disruption. Nightmare Pain it up. We're going to get Pop It. Gia, if you have a link for the free stream music, someone's trying to look for it. Pop in the Spirit of Yubel activating to summon from the deck nothing as we finger that Spirit of Yubel. Get the hell out of here. Now, what else is good here? We're going to follow up D-Lotus, Imperm onto the D-Lotus preemptively. Now, the Grave Squirmer, if we can get into the graveyard, it's just going to reborn that D-Lotus. There's like 5 to 6 different ways to still activate the effect of your D-Lotus if you have enough extension, if it's preemptively negated. I'm not a big fan of preemptively negating that D-Lotus. As we now reborn that D-Lotus, we're going to be popping it instead. We don't even care to activate it. Come forth and summon Shavara. Now, this is troublesome. Not being able to set up an incredible field or either lethaling the Tenpai user gives them the opportunity to clap your cheeks next turn. Come forth and Shokan into the Soul of Rage. Now, if we Sangin Summoning, the Sangin Summoning will make our monster unaffected from Soul of Rage, but not unaffected from the Phantom of Yubel, and the Escape will be able to pop the Sangin Summoning. So do consider, now that Yubel's no longer in the selection pack shop, by the way, this is one of the best decks to be playing. Inherently, you don't really have to make much changes to beat Tenpai Dragon. Off the top of the deck, Droplet, we got nothing. We got Raigeki, wipe up the field. We have a Yama in the graveyard. Yama will trigger. It will. So will the Soul of Rage, recycling a card in the graveyard back to our hand. Yama's going to then reborn back on the field. So we're ready with the Escape to still get popping. Escape, pop the Sangin Summoning. Now, if this were a Sangin Summoning, it's no good because we have to add the card, then discard. So a top deck Sangin Summoning is not going to be a good top deck in this scenario. So at the moment, it's looking like Yubel is still better than Tenpai. I'm still going to hold out my opinion on this. Hopefully we'll see more top 16 duels of Yubel versus Tenpai, but this is looking like it ain't it. Negate that D-Lotus preemptively. We had no real good follow-up. Chundra off the top of the deck here. Do we have a Chundra in the graveyard to finger? We do not. We're going to come forth and summon to get ready and get popping with that Escape right away. We're not giving them any time whatsoever. There's still the fear of top decking multiple different cards. And you would think the Ash Blossom keeps you safe, but it doesn't. If they top deck another Chandra, Chandra completely plays around the Ash. Damage Step Summon Pydra, Damage Step Pydra Search, all playing around the Ash Blossom. Or you just Pydra set the field spell. We're going to get poppin' with the Spirit of Yubel, grab the Grave Squirmer, trigger the Spirit, summon from the deck Yubel, Squirmer, special summon, pop Yubel, trigger, summon Terror Incarnate. We have 6,000 damage to be dealing here. Summon a Yama, add from the grave or deck, so that works under a Droll and Lockbird. We're going to summon our Phantom of Yubel, then Shokan into a Chaos Angel. We're going to be using the Squirmer, Reborn from the graveyard, Spirit of Yubel, pop with the Shavara, and just like that, 7,500 damage, enough for lethal, taking out Tenpai Dragon. Good job, non-stop DC. Now, what was different about Yubel in a post-Tenpai meta? I don't think he actually changed anything with the main deck, just changed the turn 1 play. Prioritize ending the turn with a D-Lotus to further negate their monster under the field spell alongside your Phantom of Yubel. So you have D-Lotus, Phantom, and Escape. Triple disruption, even with their field spell, making them unaffected. What is this? Plants are known for, I think they are the #1 most obnoxious turn 1 combo, right? Is that true? I think they're #1. Holy moly. We do not have a Cactus Bouncer, so thank you, LMT, for not being too toxic. We do have Ricochet to sheet all over the opponent. What we could do is we could tribute off a monster to take control of another monster through the effect of the field spell. Strenna, when tributed, will turn into a disruption. The Resurgent can spin a card back. The Borea can negate any card. The Imperm can negate. And we have the Princess, which can negate a monster. So from my calculations, we have about 7 disruption. Let me know if I'm missing anything. I don't think so. We have 7 disruption to play through. Good luck. Imperm negate the Resurgent, now down to 6. Call by the Grave, Finger, and the Princess, we're now down to 5. 5 disruptions. Sure. We're going to nuke, on summon, activate the send from the deck. We're going to chain the Genesis to non-target destroy backer. We're going to Ricochet, tribute off the Strenna to take control. We're going to Lyran Chain, which is not a disruption. It's just summoning itself onto the field in response to you summoning a Tellarknight. And we're going to pop 2 cards in the field. Oh, just 1, actually. On the Resolution, we just have 1. We just lost another disruption. So what do we have left? We have Princess, Imperm, and Strenna. Or the Princess got fingered. We have Imperm negates. Strenna's turning into a disruption. And then we have Con, which I don't think we even had a way to use the effect to tribute off a monster. So Strenna was going to summon a monster negate as our final disruption, but that was enough. We went through, 5 disruptions to help stop Lorosaur's turn 1 play, as Lorosaur will now be going first. All right, Deneb is here. Trigger the Lyran, come forth in special. Now, during the opponent's turn, the full Armored Xyz can perform an Xyz summon, and then it can equip onto the Dark Knight Lancer a card, which is going to non-target suck up a card. And then we have the Ptolemy, which will turn into a disruption. We have Little Knight, which is a disruption. And we have the Genesis. Destroy equal to the number of other Tellarknight cards you control. Well, do we control a Deltros in the back row? Yes, we do. So that counts as our non-target back row destruction. We have about 4 disruption. I think we have 5 through the Altaran. Yes, if a Tellarknight is special summoned, you then reborn this to then get poppin'. So about 5 disruption. Ragnarika, Wicked Butterfly. We're going to call by the Grave Finger that, which I was not counting as part of my 5 disruptions. Negate. Sure. I'm also not counting the Genesis as part of our disruptions here. Butterfly triggering, but it is negated. We're going to summon the Sunseed Twin into a dry ass. Dryas is going to go to the battle phase. Ptolemy is going to perform its Exceed Shokan into a Durendal. Durendal is one of those 5 disruptions. Deltos triggering, summoning in a nuke. Activate the Alteran. Alteran on summon, pop the Dryas. Goodbye to you. And with 4 other disruptions left, we win. Now, the Durendal disruption, what is that exactly? When a monster effect is activated on the field or a normal spell/trap is activated, you could detach. The activated effect becomes destroy 1 spell and trap card the opponent controls. Now, the topic of Tenpai. Durendal will change a monster effect protected by the field spell. So it's not just Yubel that could change monster effects. We also got Durendal. You also have Grapha. So Yubel, Durendal, Grapha. Is there another card that you all could use to change the effect under the Tenpai field spell? Gave the win to the wrong person. Wait, it's 1-1 now? Right, 1-1. Let's go to game 3. All right, what is this? Maxi challenge? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got Maxi. Normal summon the Loki, not activating that Maxi yet. Into our Dryas. We waiting for the Sunbind Sowing to activate the Maxi? I think so. Borea activating to equip. Now, that's enough. We're going to be chaining the Maxi. We have triple tactics talent to at least look at the hand, and we do have an impermanence. Is this good enough to just pass? How deep do we go in here? We're going to be searching our deck for the Therion Disc Coliseum. Disc Coliseum is going to be searching our deck for the Regulus, which will at least be an Omni Negate. Equip from the graveyard with that Omni Negate. Let's go, mate. We got 1 disruption plus the Imperm. Triple tactics talent. Take a gander at that hand. Don't pretend like you know what's going on here. Let's return that Lyran, sure. And let's go. Double disrupt, Imperm, and Regulus. The Humid Winds will not turn into a disruption, I don't think so. The Anuk on summon will send from the deck the Alteran. We're going to special summon the Armed Sage to now rank 4 Xyz into the Caduceus. Caduceus, first we're going to be triggering the Alteran to reborn from the graveyard to pop a card on the field, forcing out the negate of the Regulus, as we now have just Impermanence left. Is this it? Get ready. We have Caduceus from the hand, special summoning onto the field. We're going to be searching our deck for the Constellar Tellarknights, which could reborn a Constellar Tellarknight. We're going to be banishing the Lyran to activate the effect of the Lyran. The Lyran effect is the ability to add a Tellarknight spell from your deck to your hand. Negate. Now we're down to 0 disruption. Caduceus is going to rank up Xyz into an Xyz Armor Fortress. Let's speed this up. Fortress searching for the Armored Xyz, as we already have the full Armored Xyz. We're going to Constellar Tellarknight, reborn Caduceus, turn it into an M7, turn the M7 into a Deltros, which could pop a card on the field, taking out the back row, Humid Winds, activating to search the deck for our Rosalina. Discard this card to target an aroma that we don't control to then gain life. So the Rosalina is nothing, nada. Little Knight could on summon activate, but then we can't attack directly. Lyran's going to be summoning from the deck for the effect of the Deltos being sent to the grave. Genesis activating to wipe out 3 back row cards on the field. Do you have to wipe your own back row? Is it up? It's not up to. You have to destroy the same amount. You have to destroy an equal amount of Tellarknight cards you control. The back row. Caduceus now turning into M7 again. M7 into a Dark Knight Lancer. We're going to Armored Xyz, equip onto the Dark Knight Lancer to trigger the Dark Knight Lancer, to equip a monster on the field as an Xyz material. We're going to add back the Armored Xyz in the graveyard to our hand. To battle we go. We're going to full Armored Xyz within the battle phase, equipping onto the Dark Knight Lancer, making it 7,100 attack, dealing 8,600 damage. Damn. That's something. That's something. Let's go. Lori, Sword, and LMT, thank you both. I'm not going to pretend like Maxi didn't happen, that duel, but even with the Maxi, it was still a great duel, I believe. Thank you to both of you. Pydron summon, searching for our Kaiman, as we now Dimension Shifter in the mirror match. So my question is, do we know that the opponent's also playing Tenpai? Now, D-Shifter is good in the mirror match because Biden Dragon reborns in the grave, Fadra reborns in the grave. They can't make the Promethean Princess plays, so this is still pretty good. We got the Sangan Kaiman, which will be able to add a Tenpai to then summon it onto the field if it's a Genroku outside the battle phase. Otherwise, in the battle phase, we could then just summon it. Change of heart, your Pydra is mine. As we summon our own Pydra just to turn on the Gamma. Huh. Did we have to change a heart? I don't know about that one. Are we playing around like something like a droplet? But we know there's a Kaiman in the back row, right? Gamma, negate, and destroy the Pydra. To battle we go. Now, we're just going to destroy the Pydra as we then Kaiman within the battle phase, add Pydra, summon Pydra, activate Pydra, which we could chain the Moonlit Chill. Now, in the TCG, what you just saw here doesn't work. It's very weird. The Moonlit Chill would have to activate before the Pydra. Pydra would be on the higher chain link. It would be Moonlit Chill chain link 1, Pydra chain link 2. You don't believe me? That's just how it works. Negate the Pydra mate. Alrighty. Raigeki main phase 2. Wipe out that field. So Moonlit Chill, very good. No search follow-up for you, but any card we top deck into could possibly be a big play. That, of course, was not the big play that we wanted. Red Reboot, I'm thinking, is a really good card for Tenpai. Wipe out that Red Reboot. If you're going first, the Red Reboot could also negate an impermanence. We have Genroku, which will lock us into Dragon only. Pydra on summon, activate to grab the Kaiman. We're going to hold on to the Ogre. Battle phase, sure. Kaiman, add from the deck and special summon the Chandra. Ogre cannot be used on Chandra. Can't do it. Damage step, can't do it. Pydra on summon, if it were in the damage step, it would not be activatable. We're going to activate to Synchro. If you Ghost Ogre, they would chain the other monster. So again, can't Ogre. Can't Ogre in the damage step, can't Ogre their effect to Synchro because they'll use the other. We're just not going to Ogre. No Ogre. No Ogre whatsoever. Maybe it's better that our opponent does not know we're playing Ogre. If you know they're playing Ogre, you're going to think twice about activating the effect of your field spell to search, which that could win you the game, Ogering that field spell. But it's going to feel so bad if you're waiting with the Ogre and they play around Ogre by just not activating the field spell and then still beat you. Damn. As I said, we chose for a Seam to go first. We have Genroku here. We're going to chain Maxi to the normal summon of the Genroku, which could have chained a summon from the deck, but we didn't want to. We're just going to hold on to the effect. Now we have our Sanguine summoning, making all of our Tenpai monsters unaffected from all activated effects within our main phase only. Pydra grabbed the Kaiman, unaffected, we're good. Chandra would be affected by a card effect. And now we're going to be taking the Maxi challenge. Yes, no, we will not. We're going to Ash Blossom, negate that Maxi, come forth and summon our Chandra. Now we're likely going to see a Meteor Burst play here. Yup, instead we're going to go into a Transcendent Dragon play. By reborning from the graveyard, either making a Meteor Burst or a Transcendent Dragon. Within the battle phase, the opponent cannot activate any card effects whatsoever. We're going to reborn the Chandra. Now, this, I think, was a mistake. If you summon Pydra before the Transcendent Dragon, what happens here? On Synchro Summon, put the Pydra in attack position, which can't be destroyed by battle, and I could keep on attacking into it. So that's why you want to try to summon the Pydra after the summon of Transcendent Dragon. But we do have Genroku, we do have Kaiman, which could summon a Pydra. The Pydra can make it so our attack position Pydra takes no battle damage. There we go, into attack position, just like that. Bruh, no way. You let them enter the battle phase. You can't activate anything. You can't activate anything. Wait, we already Genroku'd this turn. Oh my gosh, we already activated Genroku. There was no effect was used this turn. There's nothing we could do. Oh no. Okay, so wait for the Transcendent Dragon. At the end of the main phase, then make the play you did. Go Pydra, Reborn, you're in defense. The Transcendent is only activating on Synchro Summon, so when it reborns in the graveyard, it doesn't activate to change you into attack position. Begin. We won game 2, so we're being forced to go first. Of course, not imperming the Pydra. Looks like we're waiting for the Hieratic Seal. So on our own turn, just imperm the Hieratic Seal, but the Hieratic Seal could still summon a body from the deck. It's just gonna not have the ability to be able to spin one of our face-up cards back to our hand. There we go. And back to you. Do we imperm it right away or do we change its heart? We're gonna imperm the Hieratic Seal. Heavenly Sphere, We have Pydra on summon activating Ghost Ogre, not negating, but destroying. So we will be searching still for the Sanguine summoning since we already have the Kaiman in hand. Goodbye to the Pydra. And again, I'm sure Ogre used to be good against Tenpai on their Padra before Genroku was a card. But because the Genroku is special summonable by being added, you can still make plays within the main phase. Battle phase we go. Kaiman is going to be activating. The Heavenly Sphere is negated, but its other effect is not negated. It will still summon from the deck. Are you ready? Wait, okay, now we're triggering, sure. Fadra on summon, activate, reborn, Chandra, chain, Genroku, reborn, I should say summon from the deck. Now, the Fadra in attack position, what are you doing? This is a bit sussy. Reborn the Chandra, now we are indestructible by battle. But if we attack, trying to deal damage, the Chandra will trigger to summon from the deck a Pedra, and then we take no battle damage whatsoever. But there's a Transcendent Dragon to turn off the Fadra. Fadra can now not activate to summon from the graveyard, but it already did, and the Chandra cannot activate to summon from the deck, which it had not done yet. So this has been turned off. Do we have game? We cannot activate any effects whatsoever, but we made the Transcendent without having game. So we did successfully turn off the Chandra, but it wasn't enough. We're going to change the heart of the Chandra, now making our own Heavenly Sphere. And under Max C, we're seeing a go first Tenpai in the mirror match win. What is going on? Activate the Sangan Summoning, activate to search, not chaining the Hieratic Seal to spin it back to the hand here. We're now going to Pydra, completely unaffected from the Hieratic Seal. We're going to special summon Chandra, Shokan into Bident Dragon, reborn from the graveyard, the Fadra. We're going to attempt to spin back the Sangan Summoning, because otherwise, what can we spin back? Can't spin back the monster. We tried anyway. Holy moly. We're going to be activating the Hieratic Seal to summon from the deck. Fadra, reborn from the graveyard. Chain Maxi to you trying to summon from the deck. I'm not going to say that it was a mistake to try to spin back the Bident. I think we knew that it was unaffected. We're just trying to summon from the deck here. That's it. That's the main play we're doing, because otherwise spinning back the Sangan Summoning at this point, it doesn't do anything. All right, Fadra reborn, Chandra, and this is it. How do we deal with the monster that cannot be destroyed by battle? Well, didn't we already see this in the previous duel? I put you in attack. You can't activate in the battle phase. That's it. That's how you do it. All right. Dora, Willip, that will be counting against you as BM. Summoning a Dora from the deck here. Bident Dragon for game. You didn't have a Pydra in the graveyard? Guess we didn't. Okay. Well, damn. Just like that. Very well done. So what happens if there is a Pydra on the field alongside the Fadra? The Pydra making it so you take no damage, and the Fadra making it so you can't be destroyed by battle. You could try to get your Transcendent Dragon into the graveyard to then reborn it to then pop a card in the field. Then you could then take out the Pydra, and then hopefully the Fadra is in attack position to just keep on swinging. You can also try to make something like a Samurai Destroyer, but generally, by summoning the Transcendent Dragon in main phase 1, you're locked in a dragon only, because Bident Dragon effect and Genroku, those are the two effects that lock you in a dragon monsters only. Dora's just extra one-card combo plays. Got the Sangan Summoning, activating Maxi in response to it. Now remember, the Sangan Summoning is only if the Tenpai monster is on the field. Chandra from the hand still gets Gamma and destroyed. And the Genroku being tributed still is affected because you don't control the monster. Now, we have Imperm and Droplet, that is, because we got Max Seed. Let's see what happens. Lightning freaking storm. We got nothing. Nada. Zero. So, what again, if you didn't hear this, start of the damage step is before the monster's flipped face up. So it will not trigger to summon from the deck the Chandra's face down. Should the Chandra had been normal summoned? Probably, right? What's it doing face down, mate? All right, let's hop into game 2. Yeah, just normal summon Chandra. What are we playing around? I think Duel Links is now at 9 cards in the extra deck. Is that true? 9 cards, 8 cards? Gamma, negate, and destroy the Pydra. If we had an Ash Blossom or even a Ghost Spell, Ghost Spell is another card to help stop Gamma. So you may want to play Ghost Spell to stop the Fadra on the damage step and to stop Gammas, because Gamma is all over the place. Oh my Jesus. Of course, the Ghost Spell or Ash will make the Gamma activatable still within later in the turn. We are going to be discarding our Lightning Storm. So this is an idea. If you're Board breaker's no good. Just discard it with the Singing and Summoning. Not a big deal, right? What are we doing? What was that? I think we're just scooping Imperm onto Singing and Summoning. I'm unaffected. I think this is another way of saying I lose, right? I think so. Yeah, it was a joke. It was just a joke. Bident reborn from the graveyard. Shokan into the Transcendent Dragon. And now, just like that, in the battle phase, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. Can't Ash this. Nope. Can't activate the Gamma on this because the Transcendent Dragon. Again, can't Gamma. Now, you could Gamma in the damage step. You definitely can, just not with the Transcendent Dragon completely turning off all interactions within the battle phase. This is going to be important against them randomly having a Spirit of Yubel. Make it not summonable, because with that Spirit of Yubel being summoned, you are locked in a dragon here. So you would think, okay, Spirit of Yubel, I make a Samurai Destroyer. What are you playing, TCG? You can't do that. You're locked in a dragon by summoning the Transcendent Dragon through the Bident Dragon, so you generally would not have a good out to the Yubel. Now you can Moonlight Dragon, right? The Moonlit could spin the Yubel back, but if they have Field Spell, the Field Spell triggers to summon another Yubel in the field, so you would really need that Samurai Destroyer. So we'll wait on their turn to use the Shifter. If we Shifter, we could still Ash, we could still Imperm, still good. Hydra activate, Imperm negate. Do we activate the Red Reboots? Red Reboot will not only turn off this Imperm, but if you have other Imperms, they are all turned off. That's exactly what we're doing. Half our life points, negate the Imperm, set the Imperm, set another card from the deck, and then just win this duel. Let's go. We just have Ash Blossom and Dimension Shifter. I think we want to change Shifter to the Imperm because we didn't want it to go to the graveyard, actually. There you go. Just like that. Shifter. Shifter does reduce the damage that Tenpai could do to you. Now, let's Ash, right? Can't Ash in the damage step. All right, that's a problem. We're going to then Vajra, attack. Chandra, Synchro Shokan, into a Bident Dragon. Nothing is ashable here. What are you ashing? We are now going to Vajra, activate, Synchro Shokan, into Transcendent Dragon. Now, you really can't Ash. Lethal damage as the Bident Dragon was still summonable from the graveyard for even more damage. Wait, no, it was banished because of the Shifter, that is. So yeah, you still have lethal under Shifter. It does reduce the damage, but it's still a lot of damage. Arius is going to be setting up the Big Welcome, which is of course activatable the turn it is set, but we do have Ash Blossom to negate, which we definitely should use. If they were to summon Ariana, would you want to Ash that? No way. You want to Ash the Big Welcome. If you have Imperm, you do want to use it onto the Ariana. Because you chain to our Big Welcome, we're going to reborn the Arius. And just like that, we're now going to link off into a Little Knight. With our Little Knight, we could banish an opposing monster. So we have Imperm, Dogmatica Punishment, and Little Knight. Triple disruption here. Let's summon the Gen. Now, what does the Gen do? What you're going to do is you are going to special summon a Ken from your hand or deck to your opponent's field in defense. And then what's going to happen is under related cards, it should show it. There you, thank you, Konami. The Ken says that if this card is special summoned, your opponent, which it's summoned onto their field, is going to activate to make you, who summoned it on their field, draw 2 and discard 1 card. What if you draw into a Triple Tactics talent? It's activatable, because you forced them to activate for you to draw 2 and discard, and then you get the Triple Tactics talent. That's the pretty cool play with the deck, and so it gets a body onto their field. Would Ken and Jen be good in Ancient Gear, maybe, if they refuse to summon a body onto the field? I'm thinking about that. It does take up your normal summon, though. We are going to, unfortunately, destroy the Jen. Now, what could have made Jen a lot better? I think if this was not a Spell Speed 1 effect, if it were a trigger effect on normal summon, it would have been way better. So, you know, it was initially hyped on release to be a lot better than it was, but still it's good enough to be using Mikanko. You have Ohime activating to add the Ceremony plus discard the Ha-Rei, Royal Ha-Rei, as we use the Ceremony to special summon the Ohime improperly. As we now have the Ceremony to send from the deck a Mikanko card. That card is going to be the Mikanko Dance. Dance going to be reborning the Ha-Rei from the graveyard. We're going to use the Little Knight to chain banish the Ohime off the field until the end phase. Come back onto the field Ha-Rei, trigger the Ha-Rei, search our deck for an equip card. We now have the Mikanko Water. Mikanko Water, equip onto the opponent's monster, ideally return the monster back to the hand. Otherwise, we do it to ourselves. We're going to summon the Hugh Lee. The Hare didn't go back to the hand because it has to be banished when it leaves the field through the effect of the Mikanko Dance. And now we have the Angelic Ring. So what exactly is this scenario? This scenario is the first spell that activates, we are going to hard negate it with Angelic Ring, even if it is a super polymerization. And then we also have the Rivalry, which could take control of a monster or negate. We also, all of our Mikanko cards are completely untargetable. Let's go. Yep. Ohime is going to be equipping the Durendal onto the Hugh Lee, searching for the Spirit Walk. We're also reflecting battle damage. Come back to me. Neospatian Connector. So it's worth noting, something interesting happened here if you're paying attention. The Ceremony effect was wiped. It states that return the card back to the hand during the opponent's end phase. So instead of going back to the hand, because it was banished by the Little Knight, that effect did not happen. We're going to be searching for the Oliver through the Durendal effect. Also, we're destroying it. Connector, summon from the deck, our Neospatian Dolphin. Take a look at that hand. It's too large, so we are going to return it back to the hand, not destroy it. We're going to special summon Oliver by sending the equip card to the grave to then make a Herald of Arc Light. Herald of Arc Light is our Omni Negate as we use the water to return back the Hugh Lee, triggering the Hare, where you're going to be chaining the Little Knights in response to the Mikanko water. So this is really interesting. The Mikanko water will not summon from the deck if the Hare leaves the field. So we have to stop the Little Knight effect to banish. We're going to chain Lady, special summoning itself onto the field. And with the Rivalry, let's equip an Axe of Fools, yes? Axe of Fools from the deck, you are negated. Thus, the Hare can successfully be adding the Fire Dance as the... Did we activate the water effect? Did we do that? Special summon Mikanko. I think we already did that. We're now going to Imperm, negate the Ohime. Herald of Arc Light is going to negate. Negate the impermanence because you chain to a trap effect. We're going to chain Arius to reborn from the graveyard. We're going to finger the Arius, stopping it from reborning from the grave. Now the back row, Welcome Labyrinth, is activatable. We're also chain link blocking the Lady. The Lady wants to be the direct chain to a trap card activating. On field, that is. Sure. So they can set a trap for the deck. With the Hugh Lee, we are now completely untargetable. We're going to battle phase Reflect 29. Attempt to reflect another 29. We're going to use the Spirit Walk to chain link block. Now we're using a trap effect to chain link block a trap card activation, and the Lady can only chain to the activation of a trap, not the activation of the effect of a trap. Thus, we do not set a trap from the deck. Spirit Walk, as special summon the Hare onto the field. We have Ariana activating on summon, search our deck for a Chandelier, which is no good, but we have big Welcome Labyrinth here to spin back our Lady to our hand, but we're still reflecting 2600 onto that Axe of Fool negated Little Knight. Damn. So what did Jen accomplish? Jen ate up a disruption. If you could add something good enough that eats up a disruption and you could still cook afterward, then that's a great addition. So it did exactly what it was supposed to do, eating up that Dogmatica punishment. Good job to Morisaki as we hop into game number 2. Let's go. Now Mikanko is fine with going second. We're okay with that. Let's go second. We are a Battle Reflect deck. We have a Ken. Ken is not as good as Jen. Jen is going to force them to discard a card instead of us draw to discard. We're going to Mikanko Water, equip onto the Jen, and then with the Jen going back to our hand, we could then summon it and summon a Ken. That's wild. So to stop that, we're going to return your Jen back to your hand anyway. Now, the water gets stopped, so we don't get to summon a Mikanko, but we now have a Jen that's, we can't normal summon it, unfortunately. But the Lovely will trigger to pop a card on the field or in the hand, taking out that impermanence. Magician's Soul is going to send from the deck the Illusion of Chaos. We're going to send 2 of our spell cards to get completely negated by the transaction rollback, copying our own engrave impermanence. Draw 2 into draw 0. Ceremony, send from the deck a Mikanko card. We have the Mikanko Dance, but no Mikanko engraved to reborn, right? Because the Mikanko Water got negated. Now, that Little Knight, unfortunately, was not summoned through an extra deck monster, thus we didn't gain the effect to banish a card on summon. Otherwise, getting rid of that Lovely would have been incredibly important as the end phase Ariana triggers to search our deck for a Lady. Lady special summon itself onto the field. It can only summon in defense, so it's good to summon it during the opponent's turn, so we could change it during our own turn. And just like that, 7,500 damage over that Little Knight, not enough for lethal damage. Do we have a way to stop? We're going to scoop. I mean, the Ken's going to get stopped very likely. We need to summon the Jen, summon Ken. Ken, make a straw 2, discard a card. But it's now 1-1. Alrighty, we are going first. We're choosing to go first. Connector summon for the deck. The Dolphin. Dolphin, check the hand for an Ash Blossom. Where there's no Ash. All right, we now I-sold. Herald of Arclight is going to be our Omni Negate. We now have the Hugh Lee searching for the Rivalry, which will be a negate or take control, so that is a disruption. The Herald of Arclight also has another effect. This states that if a card is sent, a monster sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead. So that's going to really screw up cards like the Chandelier, the Torby, and the Kuklok. So we have a negate, we have a take control, and in the graveyard, do we have another destruction? We have Promethean Princess, a pop. So we have about triple disruption. Let's go. Set 4 pass. Ohime in the end phase equipping the water. Triggering the Hugh Lee to search for a Spirit Walk. Sure. As the Ohime gets returned back to the hand through the effect of the ceremony. Now we're going to summon our Ken. Ken, summon a Jen. Jen, activate, triggering Promethean Princess, mate. There are so many cool plays with Ken and Jen. I am loving it. Thank you, Murasaki, for this duel. As you have to discard your transaction rollback, Promethean, Reborn, the Renaud. Renaud is going to add back the Hare Engrave. What else do we have here? We are now summoning Hida. Hida can summon a fire monster from the opponent's graveyard. Of course, there is nothing engraven. We're also blocking her Link Arrows. Diablo Star being summoned to set up an original Sinful. Everything in attack position at 6250 damage. Not enough for lethal damage, of course, but enough to, set up lethal for next turn. Ken at the end of the battle phase, returning back to the hand. Ohime searching for the Great Ceremony. Discard that Great Ceremony. As we now make a Little Knight. This Little Knight will be banishing on summon. Activate, banish the transaction rollback from the back row. Get out of here. Original Sinful, send a Rendell after equipping it to summon for the deck a Fireflint Lady. As the Wanted Seeker searches for another Diablo Star just to get the Wanted Seeker in the grave to draw a random card here. Return back the Original Sinful, randomly draw into the Angelic Ring. We're going to now, in the end phase, declare Synchro Monster with Dimensional Barrier. What the heck? Okay. We are going to chain banish the Herald of Arclight. So we wanted to activate Dimensional Barrier to turn off the Herald of Arclight, and then only on resolution be able to activate our backer without fear of the Herald of Arclight being able to negate our trap. So that's going to be from the deck summoning with the Welcome Labyrinth, our Ariana. We're going to Rivalry, equip an Axa Fool onto the Ariana, negating the effect to What happened here? What the heck happened here? We had so much card advantage. Oh my gosh. Damn. That is unfortunate. We are abiding by the regular time limit rules. I believe it's 5 minutes total, and you gain 20 seconds at the start of every turn, right? Your turn and your opponent's turn plus 20 seconds and 5 minutes overall, and the animations do not count towards the 5 minutes. It just happened. It happens. It's okay, Murasaki. Next time, my friend, do make sure to save your replays of beating Tenpai. Everyone wants to see it. Begin. We're going to Nadir Servants, send a Garura, grab Maximus, activate to draw a card. Let's speed this up since there's no hand traps. Pot of E's no good. Can't use it unless it's the start of the main phase. What the heck? What? Shadow Schism? We're playing Shadow Schism. Ain't no way. We floodgated. We got super floodgate labyrinth in here. Because we drew, we also couldn't use Pot of P. So we are going to be special summoning the Ponix after a card has been destroyed. We're going to imperm negate that Ponix. I do not think so. Let's go. Now we have another imperm in the Shadow Schism. We're going to be making our Link Karibo. When do we Shadow Schism? Now. We're going to call by the grave, finger the Shadow in graveyard so that you cannot summon from the extra deck a Winda. The Winda states that only each player can special summon once per turn. And it does not count the special summons that happen before the summon window. The window has to be up, and then special summons afterward is only once. You got the Fire King Island, popping Kieran to grab the Garunix. We could trigger the Kieran to summon a body onto the field and non-target pop a card. We could take out that impermanence before it could even be activated. And I think that's exactly what we're doing. Yep. Summon the Ponix, take out the impermanence, trigger Garunix, pop Arvata, Arvata reborn, Kieran from the graveyard, Kieran is negated. That is okay as we link it up into a Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf and Linkuriboh making Promethean Princess, Promethean reborn from the graveyard, our Oak on summon, reborn. We're going into lethal. Okay, Zealantis, banish the whole field, return the whole field, pop with Promethean, link up with the Zealantis, pop another 2 cards. So it's pop 1, pop an additional 2, and then at least 11,000 damage in the field. Let's hop into game 2. Hajime. We're going to Ariana on summon, get impermed. Is it good to imperm Ariana? I think so. It's not good to use Ash on it though. If we had a big Welcome Labyrinth in the hand, we could have discarded with the Chandelier to then use the big Welcome to return back the Ariana here. That would have been a pretty cool play to dodge the impermanence. We've seen it at least once. And now on to you. What are our disruptions? We have Big Welcome, Regular Welcome, Ice Dragon Prison to steal a monster from the grave, then banish a monster from the field. We also have engraved the Black Goat Laughs. This is a complicated card to play correctly. You have to, at the perfect moment, banish it, declare a monster card. That monster cannot be activated, but you can't chain it to the monster already activating. So if they shotgun, normal summon a Snake Eye Ash, then activate it, it's too late. So you have to preempt the Black Goat Laughs on a monster activation. If you would have declared I'm set, now I think it's only on field, right? It doesn't include the hand. The monster cannot be activated on the field only, does not count the grave or hand. Sure. What'd I say? You do it. Now, we could have chained Black Goat Laughs, declaring Poplar, because we know that's probably what they're searching. I'm not saying that was the correct play to do, but it is an option. Poplar, grab the Divine Temple, set up the temple, into the back row, our Snake Eye Oak, send the Oak and the Ash to summon a Flame Burst. Now, if we Black Goat Laughs the Ash, we could have stopped it from doing that play if we wanted to. Again, not saying we should. We're going to steal the Oak to then banish the Poplar on the field through the effect of the Ice Dragon Prison, triggering Ariana to draw a card for free. And the Chandelier will also add itself in the graveyard back to our hand. Off that random draw, we are drawing into a Daruma, which we could discard with Chandelier to set up a card from our deck into the back row. We have the Sanctuary, setting up the Fire King Island, popping a fire to search for the Garunix, trigger the Volcanics, trigger the Garunix, summon a Garunix, and summon another Garunix in the deck. So we pop... Whoa, okay, this works. The hand effect obviously is not being stopped, but on summon, what does it do? It activates to pop a Kieran from the deck, and we're going to stop that now. It does not work. Nicely done. I would say that was really good use of the Black Goat Laughs. We're going to activate Welcome Labyrinth to summon from the deck a huge Skyburn. We're going to pop 2 cards on the field. We're going to chain Big Welcome, likely summoning a Lovely. By summoning Lovely, we return back the air. No, we summon a Torby instead. Sure. Now with the Welcome Labyrinth, we're going to summon an Arius from the deck here. As we now reborn an I'm Setting from the graveyard, Arius is going to set the Daruma from the hand to make it activatable the turn it was set. As we now make a Garunix Eternity. Garunix Eternity can activate to detach a material to pop a back row card. We're going to end phase Torby, discard the Chandelier, setting up the regular Welcome Labyrinth here. Now, what are our disruptions, if any? In the grave, we have the Sacred King Garunix waiting to activate. What it is required for it to activate is a fire monster has to be destroyed. So you have to be very careful about taking out that fire monster. Does it work if we destroy it while face down? Well, let's read the Garunix. It states that a monster that is originally fire is destroyed by battle or card effect. So even if it's face down and destroyed, it will trigger. We have the other Fire King Avatar Garunix activating on summon, wiping out the Garunix Eternity, also triggering the King Garunix, which we couldn't even play around. So the Garunix Eternity is reborning monsters from the grave. Reborning itself and the Courtier triggering to pop a fire monster here. Garunix is going to pop a card from the deck. So without even our help, they're making a ton of plays within our standby. What's going on? We're going to summon an Ariana to add on top of this as we pop a Kieran from the deck. Kieran is going to be triggering to summon the Arvata from the hand. That's what I believe we're doing. Yup. And then we're going to pop the Ariana on field, or the Arius. So what do we pop here? We're going to non-target pop on the resolution of the Kieran, summoning the Arvata, giving us also a monster negate. Yup. Taking out the Ariana, resolve, searching for the Welcome Labyrinth. We now have our monster negate, which we can negate the Arius, which we can negate with impermanence. Imperm, negate. The negate, mate, we will set the Welcome Labyrinth and it will be activatable the turn it's set. So with that, but did we already activate it? We did. We already did, so it's no good. All right, sure. So why did we imperm? For no reason, right? We could have just set it, huh? All right, everything in attack position, 11,000 damage. Welcome Labyrinth into a lady. And we're scooping because we know that the lady will be sent to the graveyard through the effect of the King Sark. Whether we're big enough or not, does not matter. Start the damage step, send it to the grave, and then wham bam, thank you ma'am, lethal damage afterward. That's a quick and easy 2-0 victory. Let's go. D-shifter in the draw phase. All your cards are banished. Our main deck in a dimensional barrier, and a lot of you could be thinking, what the cringe? What do you main deck in one trap? You have to hard draw it? Well, what is Tenpai doing to you on your first turn? They're hand trapping you. Well, you're going to, well. You're gonna grab a triple tactics thrust to set the dimensional barrier from your deck. So essentially you're playing 4 copies of the dimensional barrier if you have thrust with it, which I believe we do. Off the top of the deck, we got our Maxi. We're gonna Pot of P, dig deep, banishing 6 cards. Agusa, Exciton Knight, what the heck? Let's see. Come to me. We're gonna grab our emergency teleport special summon from the deck. Come forth, Laura. Now, why didn't we Maxi? We can't under the effect of Shifter. The Maxi must be discarded by cost. We're going to activate the Dimensional Barrier, declaring Fusion. Now, Fusion monsters cannot be summoned for the rest of this turn. So it's not just good against Tenpai, it could be good against other decks also. Laura being banished will trigger to summon a Canahawk, banishing Winda. To battle we go. Not big enough to take out a super thick Rise Heart at 2100 defense. Damn. Dude's playing more than one Dimensional Barrier. Zeus, are you good? What the heck? Durendal equip on a Canahawk, Ash Blossom negate. And Zeus like, just wait till he finds out I'm actually playing 6 Dimensional Barriers. 3 thrust, 3 barrier. We can now activate Maxi because the effective Shifter is now gone. Let's draw per special summon, and let's see where we go from here. The Durendal has already been negated. The Kumi is going to be special summoning 2 banish Ritual Beasts back on the field. By battling to the Canahawk, we could banish the Laura if we wanted to summon a Ritual Beast from the deck, as we set up that Dimensional Barrier again to floodgate fusion monsters from being summoned. So we're going to link up into the ulti Kumi that was returned back into, and now we're going to be banishing the Laura to additional summon the Tamer Laura as we reborn the Window from the graveyard and trigger the new Laura to summon from the deck. This is a draw too. So we do have to finger that Maxi definitely to stop them from Pot of Greeting. And I mean, look at this field spell, this field zone. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. Ain't no way. Is there a better field mat than this? I gotta pause this real quick. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Crazy cool. To now know that this is what the opponent's looking at when you're playing this, that's something. Who even cares about their pet? You got a freaking Flame Burge. Window Crashing, which is a really good way to cheat out a monster from the extra deck. We're going to summon a Link 4, which normally requires 3 monsters to even summon it. Apelio banished from the graveyard to further boost up the field with a super boosted up ulti Ray at 3,700 attack. We're going to use the Druiswarm to send the Apelio on the field to the grave. Let's get swinging, and we're under the effect of Dimensional Barrier. We're not even allowed to perform a fusion summon. The ulti Ray is going to add the Wind, then we could additionally summon it if we wanted to, as we then make a little Knight. So what are our disruptions? So even under Deep Barrier, we have Little Knight, which could chain banish a monster, and we have the Ulti Ray, which could chain banish the Ulti Kumi to then pop the field spell, banish it on its activation, and then the Kumi could chain banish itself off the field to summon 2 Ritual Beasts onto the field. Perfect. Let's go. Let's do it. Chain, banish, chain, jump, chain summon 2. Let's go. Nicely done. Let's hop into game 2. Pot of E. We going for that draw 2. Of course, small world. If you have a maxi, it is, I would say, pretty good to chain to the small world, because otherwise they could search for an Ash Blossom. Then Rear attempting to search our deck here. I don't think so. Imperm. Negate. That did its job. Fenrir eating up an impermanence when we didn't even get started with our real plays. That's what you want. Durandal search our deck. If you can, without committing to a normal summon, have them eat up your hand traps, that's beautiful. We're gonna Raisin, search, make a Rock of the Vanquisher. Why are we not using Imperm onto the Raisin? Well, they could chain the Borger from the hand to return the Raisin back to the hand to dodge the impermanence. We're gonna stake your soul, reveal the Raisin, summon for the deck of Jiao Long. Jiao Long is going to reveal 2 fires. Come to me, Caesar, Valius. Now we get Imperm on our own turn, which is the Fenrir eating a second impermanence. We're gonna Imperm the Rock of the Vanquisher, only activatable in the main phase. Nicely done, so we can't summon a Vanquisher from the hand, but the Snow Devil, by revealing 3 different types of monsters, well, attributes that is, it's gonna be able to destroy the entire field of monsters. But the Tamer, Laura, if we could get her into the graveyard, she could banish herself to protect your field from being destroyed. Now, what happens if you have a Laura on the field plus all your other cards? She'll surely banish herself, protecting all of your other cards from being destroyed? No. If she's being destroyed at the same time as the other cards, she cannot protect them. So we have to get her into the graveyard to play around the Snow Devil. Emergency teleport, summon a Laura from the deck. We're gonna banish to come forth and make the Canna Hawk. Canna Hawk is going to be searching our deck for the Elder. We have not committed to a normal summon yet. Normal summon Elder, we do have the additional summon now. Banish for the Nochi, trigger the effect of the Tamer Laura, summon a Canna Hawk, triggering the Fenrir to banish the Nochi, which is protecting our other monsters from being targeted by the Fenrir. Canna Hawk banishing the Rapangu, Shokan into the Ulti Hawk. And now, what's the scenario here? Do we have a Laura in the graveyard? No Laura in grave to protect from both of our Canna Hawks being destroyed by the Snow Devil. So we're gonna chain Canna Hawk to summon the banished monsters back, Elder and Rapangu. We're also gonna chain the other, we know we're screwed, right? We're just return them back. That's what we're doing. Instead of having the Canna Hawks be sent to the graveyard, just recycle them into the extra deck, and then goodbye to our field. Is Skill Drain enough though? Skill Drain at 6,200 life. I think that they could still brute force our life points here, even when being negated. And what you could do is you could Borger, activate the burn for 15, and then chain return Borger back to the hand, so it's no longer negated. Yeah, that's too much. Borger burn, Borger return, attack, attack, attack. Let's hop in a game number 3. We have Inheritance. Both players are playing Dimension Shifter here. We're gonna recycle, I should say discard a card from the hand by searching our deck for a Ritual Beast card. Elder into Canna Hawk, banishing a Laura here as we now make our Ulti Hawk. Ulti Hawk is going to be hit with the Shifter. So how does this work? Shifter states any card sent to the grave is banished. Ulti Hawk is still going to take the banished cards and put them in the grave. So it does not go to the grave and get banished or just stay banished. It in fact goes to the grave even under Shifter. So we're gonna chain the Ulti Hawk, which we were normally gonna do anyway. This Shifter did not really disrupt Ritual Beast whatsoever. And Ritual Beast can in fact perform full, uninterrupted, same turn 1 board with and without Shifter. Like exactly the same. If you Elder Canna Hawk, whether you're unshifter or not, same field. Completely unaffected. But it looks like we were affected here. This is kind of a weak turn. What? I don't understand. Why did we undercook this turn? We still had Wen into Link 2. The difference with Ulti Hawk is under Shifter, instead of returning 1 banished card to the grave, you do have to return 2 at a time because your graveyard is going to be quite empty due to the Shifter. And, you know, were we afraid of something? We thought they had a hand trap when they didn't, and instead it was just a Soul Pluton? Huh? We undercooked? It's not a good end board. But we do have Skill Drain. Pluton is going to get babooshed. Well, just chain Skill Drain, right? We can't Skill Drain. It's the damage step. So we had to Skill Drain before the damage step, and then Canahawk can't jump off the field. Well, do we have a Laura in the graveyard to protect us from being destroyed by battle? We do, okay? Laura in the grave will protect us. We're fine. We're fine, it's fine. Banish Laura. We chose to not trigger Laura, though. Why? Why not? We're gonna hold on to Laura. We're gonna trigger her later. Summon from the deck. I mean, we're not under max C. Laura and Rapangu are now here. We're gonna flip down with the Dust Devil. That's pretty interesting. Because 2 monsters were summoned at the same time, the inheritance triggers to put a monster on the field into attack position. It could be your opponent's or your own. As we now make a Rock of the Vanquisher. Mad Love into Skill Drain. If we had a Caesar or Borger, we could chain return the Mad Love back to the hand to dodge the negate of that Skill Drain mate. As we now main phase 2 go into the Typhon. Typhon, of course, negated from the Skill Drain, not able to spin a monster on the field back. As we now Steeds at the end of the turn, wiping out, non-targeting, popping them monsters. Laura off the top of the deck. Let's banish in the graveyard into a Nochi. When on summon, could reborn a banished monster, but not under the effect of Skill Drain, of course. Let's get to it. Add a card, discard, 5,600 damage here. The Nochi could summon a banished monster, but it cannot attack directly. We are now MP2ing into the Ulti Hawk, even under the effect of Skill Drain, because it jumps off the field before the first effect resolves. It is not negated. So we're going to send to the grave, summon 2, all under Skill Drain, searching for a Laura. Let's do it again. Ulti Hawk, not again, sure, just pass like that. All our disruption is on the Skill Drain. We have the Pantera. Pantera going to attempt to destroy the Canahawk by battle, banishing the Laura from the grave instead, special summoning a Winda. We're also going to Ulti Hawk, return 2 of our banished cards back on the field. Inheritance, changing the reason to defense. As we then make a Rock of the Vanquisher, simply negated by the Skill Drain. All our monster effects were in the battle phase, so the Triple Tactics talent, it's dead. Not activatable if the effects were in the battle phase, draw phase, standby phase, end phase, of course. And just like that, Skill Drain's quite toxic. Oh my gosh, especially in Ritual Beast. 2-1 victory. Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16. That was a very quick top 16. I think I didn't miss any duels, right? It was the full freaking top 16. Tenpai is really speeding up these tournaments now, which could be a good or bad thing. You tell me. And then we'll be in the next video for tomorrow, be going into the top 8. I'll see you there.